Hi everyone, how was your day? We're continuing with Genesis 15. It's titled, The Lord's Covenant with Abram. After this, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward. But Abram said, Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless? He means I have everything, but I still don't have a son. My right-hand man, Eliezer of Damascus, that's all I have. You have given me no children yet. Will he be my heir? And then the Lord God, God the creator of everything, said, Eliezer, this man will not be your heir, but a son who is your own flesh and blood will be your heir. God asked him to go outside. He took him outside and said, Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. Then he said to Abram, So shall your offspring be. Abram believed God, his Lord, and the Lord credited to him as righteousness. God also said to him, I am the Lord who brought I am the Lord who brought you out of out of the Chaldeans, to give you this land, to take possession of it. But Abram said, Sovereign Lord, how can I know that I will gain possession of it? He needed some kind of sign. So the Lord said to him, Bring me a cow, a goat, and a ram, each 3 years old, along with a dove and a young pigeon. So, let's see. 3 types of meat and 2 birds. I don't think they ate doves and pigeons. So earlier when Noah sacrificed some animals, we'll have to look at that again. Maybe they're not edible animals, I'm not sure. Noah did. Abram brought all these to him, cut them in 2, and arranged the halves opposite each other. The birds, however, he did not cut in half. Then birds of prey, it's like hawks perhaps, came down on the carcasses, but Abram drove them away. As the sun was setting, Abram fell into a deep sleep. I think he fell into like a mystical state again, just as Noah did. And a thick and dreadful darkness came over him. You know what I think the darkness was? Sometimes, God has Kadosh Malakim and Kadosh Kasidim. He has like very high holy celestial beings and lower holy celestial beings. But sometimes these lower celestial beings, they don't always appear as winged people or like a pillar of cloud or clouds. Sometimes they will appear as darkness, like dark clouds. So this thick, dreadful darkness, it could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, God is a king, like the King of Kings, and he has all these celestial beings with him. So the lower ones, like King down in a form of dark clouds. And then the Lord said to Abram, "Know for certain that for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and that they will be enslaved and mistreated there." I think enslaved is they will be unfairly treated, but I will punish the nation they serve as slaves, the nation that mistreats them, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. You, however, will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. In the 4th generation, your descendants will come back here, for the sin of the Amorites has not yet reached its full measure. So let's take a look at this. So there's 400 years, and they will be mistreated, and they will come out with grapes. It sounds like we'll get to it later. And then in the 4th generation, it sounds like, well, I'll just tell you. Remember, there's a guy named Moses, and he led people out of Egypt. It sounds like that. You know, they will come out of Egypt with great possessions, and in the 4th generation after Moses, descendants will come back here, where he is. And when the sun had set and the darkness had fallen, a smoking fire pot with a blazing torch appeared and passed between the pieces. So a fire pot with a blazing torch. A fire pot. So it's like a pot that has fire coming out of it, and a torch. And it just walked between those 6 pieces of meat. So I think the Lord, he showed Abraham a sign, something really impossible to explain. So he was sure to know that he will have a son and that he will have land. Because remember, he just left. Remember, it's hard to explain. He just left his country, everything he knew, even a lot of his relatives. And he didn't know where he's going to be. So the Lord reassured him that you will have land. And he kept saying earlier, remember, he said, "I'm giving this to you." And on that day, he made a covenant with Abram. He said, "To your descendants, Abram, he'll become Abraham later. I give this land that you're standing on, from the Wadi of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates, the land of the Kenites, Kenizzites, Kadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephites, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites." That is Genesis 15. We'll stop here and keep going. Reading the Bible from cover to cover, I think, is an accomplishment.